Let's begin with a UFC Fight Pass prelim in the bantamweight division. Manville the Anvil Gamborian versus Cody the Renegade Gibson. 135.5 for Gibson. And his opponent making his bantamweight debut, Manville Gamborian. 135.5 for Manville Gamborian. All right, our next bout is in the lightweight division. John the Super Saiyan Tuck versus Kevin the Motown Phenom Lee. 155.5 for Kevin Lee. And his opponent, John Tuck. 155 for John Tuck. All right, now we get to the UFC 178 prelims on Fox Sports 1. First up in the welterweight division, John Doomsday Howard versus Brian Bad Boy Eversole. 170 and a hook for Brian Eversole. And his opponent, John Howard. 170 for John Howard. All right, staying in the welterweight division, Patrick the Predator Cote versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. 170 for Stephen Thompson. And his opponent is a former middleweight title challenger, Patrick Cote. 170.5 for Patrick Cote. All right, our next bout is in the lightweight division. Jorge Gamebred Masvidal versus the James Krause. 155 for James Krause. And his opponent currently ranked number 12 in the world, Jorge Masvidal. 155 for Gamebred. All right, next up it is our featured prelim in the bantamweight division. Dominic the Dominator Cruz versus Takeya Mizugaki. 136 for Takeya Mizugaki. And his opponent, please welcome back the former UFC bantamweight champion, Dominic Cruz. 134 for Dominic Cruz. And now we get to the main card for UFC 178 on pay-per-view. First up in the women's bantamweight division, Alpha Cat Zingano versus Amanda the Lioness Nunes. 135 for Amanda Nunes. And her opponent is the #1 ranked women's bantamweight contender, Cat Zingano. 135 for Cat Zingano. Or next up, we have got a good one in the middleweight division. Tim Kennedy versus Yoel Soldier of God Romero. 185 for Yoel Romero. And his opponent is ranked number 6 in the world, Tim Kennedy. 185 for Tim Kennedy. To the co-main event in the lightweight division, Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Eddie Alvarez. First fighter to the scale, making his UFC debut, Eddie Alvarez. 155 for Eddie Alvarez. And his opponent, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. 155 for Donald Cerrone. First fighter to the scale, the challenger, Chris Kamikaze Cariaso. 124.5 for Chris Cariaso. And his opponent is the undisputed UFC flyweight champion of the world, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. 124.5 for Demetrius Johnson.